All right. Good afternoon, and thank you for coming. I'd like to start this event by acknowledging Indigenous peoples whose traditional territory we have gathered on today. The original caretakers and stewards of Treaty 6 region, including Cree, Nakota, and Anishinaabe people. We acknowledge the many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit who have lived in and cared for these lands for generations. We are grateful for the traditional knowledge keepers and elders who are still with us today and those who have gone before us. Today I'd like to introduce to you Sergeant Kelly Krall. He is a commander of our Central Alberta Crime Reduction Unit, and he'll be speaking to you with regards to a successful operation undertaken by that unit in a week or two ago. Following that, it'll be Corporal Howell will say the same thing that Sergeant Krall will say in French. Thank you.
Good afternoon. On January 20th and 26th of 2026, Breton and Thorsby RCMP detachments received reports of a stolen excavator and bulldozer from a property in Brazeau County. Later, police received information of a possible location where those items were located. Our Central Alberta Crime Reduction Unit was deployed to support the investigation. Utilizing an RPAS drone, RCMP confirmed the items as being on the property. On February 11th, as a result of the investigation, Breton and Thorsby RCMP and the Central Alberta District Crime Reduction Unit, with the assistance of the Alberta RCMP Auto Theft Unit, Wetaskiwin Detachment, and Crime Reduction Units, executed a search warrant at the property on Range Road 254 in Wetaskiwin County. As a result of the search, police recovered stolen items, including 3 semi-tractors, 7 trailers, a skid steer, 2 tractors, a sea can that contained a significant amount of industrial hosing, approximate value of $175,000 worth, a vehicle, and numerous pieces of machinery. These items have been linked to 16 separate theft occurrences from across numerous RCMP jurisdictions, including Parkland County, Wetaskiwin County, Fort Saskatchewan, Leduc County, and Ponoka. 2 of the occurrences were linked to thefts in Edmonton. While executing a search warrant, officers arrested 4 individuals on the property. 49-year-old Richard Joseph Zukowski has been charged with 14 counts of possession of stolen property over $5,000. Zukowski was taken before Justice of the Peace and remanded into custody until a future date. The other arrested suspects have been released pending further investigation. This is yet another example of the harm that a small group of prolific offenders can cause. Having a dedicated group of investigators, both trained and equipped to focus all available efforts on these types of individuals, have an overall effect of dropping crime rates. Any questions? Oh, you want to?
Bonjour, je suis le caporal Matthew Howell du groupe média de la GRC d'Alberta et traduis présentement les paroles du sergent Krall. Les 20 et 26 janvier 2026, le détachement de la GRC de Breton Thorsby a reçu des signalements concernant le vol d'une excavatrice et d'un bulldozer sur une propriété du comté de Brazeau. Plus tard, la police a reçu des informations sur un endroit où les objets volés pourraient se trouver. Notre groupe de réduction de la criminalité du district central de l'Alberta a été déployé pour soutenir l'enquête. À l'aide du système d'aéronefs télépilotés de la GRC, on a été en mesure de confirmer que les engins se trouvaient sur la propriété. Le 11 février 2026, à la suite de l'enquête, la GRC de Ben Thorsby et le groupe de réduction de la criminalité du district central, avec l'aide du groupe de vol de véhicules de la GRC de l'Alberta, ainsi que le détachement et les groupes de réduction de la criminalité de Wetaskiwin, ont exécuté un mandat de perquisition à une propriété située sur la route 254 dans le comté de Wetaskiwin. À la suite de la perquisition, la police a récupéré des objets volés, notamment 3 semi-remorques, 7 remorques, un chargeur compact, 2 tracteurs, un compteur maritime contenant une quantité importante de tuyaux industriels d'une valeur de 175 000 un véhicule et de nombreuses pièces de machinerie. Ces articles ont été liés à 16 vols distincts commis dans plusieurs juridictions de la GRC, notamment dans les comtés de Parkland, Wetaskiwin, Fort Saskatchewan, Leduc et Ponoka. 2 de ces vols étaient liés à des vols commis à Edmonton. Lors de l'exécution du mandat de perquisition, les agents ont arrêté 4 personnes sur la propriété. Richard Joseph Zukowski, 49, a été inculpé de 14 chefs d'accusation pour possession de biens obtenus par le crime d'une valeur supérieure à 5 000 Zukowski a été présenté devant un juge de paix et placé en détention provisoire en attendant une date de cour future. Les autres suspects ont été libérés en attente d'une enquête plus approfondie. C'est encore un autre exemple des dommages que peut causer un petit groupe de délinquants prolifiques. Le fait de disposer d'une équipe d'enquêteurs spécialisés, formés et équipés pour concentrer leurs efforts sur ce type de délinquants a pour effet global de faire baisser les taux de criminalité. Merci. We will open up the floor to questions for Sergeant Carl now.
How long has these guys been sort of doing their bad deeds? They have quite
How long have they been doing their bad deeds? Well, the hose that we recovered was taken back in, I believe, January of 2025. So it's been on the property, we believe, for quite some time. Other items like were taken fairly recently. So, yeah.
Are these individuals known to you guys?
Mr. Zukowski is known to us, correct? Yeah, for similar related occurrences.
And the other three?
The other 3, investigation is ongoing. Don't want to comment on them.
What kind of dent, I guess, will this make in sort of this type of crime in the area?
Well, we've experienced a real influx in crime relating to tractor-trailer units and larger equipment in recent months. So this has been a big success, I believe, in curbing that trend. Yeah, it's a lot of money worth of equipment. I think we estimated $1.4 or $1.5 million worth of equipment that was recovered from the property.
How do you steal this big sea can like that?
The sea can, I believe, was on a trailer when it was stolen. So, yeah, they have trucks. The dozer and the excavator that were stolen were not on a truck and trailer. So they had stolen tractor trailer units on the property. So they were using all stolen equipment to steal more equipment. Yeah.
You said the word trend in there. Looking at the last 5 years and maybe the last 10 years, how often do you find the RCMP is involved in investigations of this nature?
As often as we can be.
I mean, like, how are you seeing a rise, a decline?
So when I say a trend that's been increasing, our unit, specifically the crime reduction unit, monitors closely crime trends that are occurring over a very short period of time. So within the last month to 2 months, we've seen a big uptick in the amount of stolen tractor trailer units in and around Central Alberta District. And so this was a direct result to that trend. Yeah.
And you mentioned that some stolen equipment is used to steal other equipment. What percentage, if you know, gets sold off or revalued?
I can't really speak on percentages. This instance, I know that they were using some of the stolen property personally on their property. Some of it had been dismantled or taken apart and appears to have been prepared for sale. Some of the photos you'll see, there's a motor and there's different items that have been removed from the tractor trailer units. There was a Jeep on the property that was completely dismantled.
Would you say in most cases that's what large items like this or large, easily identifiable items like this, they're more often or less often parted out?
It's an interesting question. My belief and understanding would be that items like this are ordinarily used for personal use. When we talk about tractors, skid steers, tractor trailer units, it's not often items that police check the VINs on when we go to a property. You assume they're on a farm. You have no reason to investigate. This instance where we've had an uptick in the amount of tractor trailer units that have been stolen, those are not all being used for personal use. Those are obviously being parted out or sold as complete units.
How much of the stolen property can be successfully returned to its owners?
Nearly all of it. If pending the state of disrepair, a lot of items are already the owners have received insurance payouts or whatever, so those don't necessarily make it back into the hands of the owner. But in the case of the dozer and the excavator, we had the owners come directly to the site and pick them up.
Sorry, I was late. Could you just describe the size and scope of this operation?
So the investigation started with a tip from the public. We were able to fly the property with a drone and confirm that stolen property was in fact on the property that the tipster indicated. And as a result, we obtained a search warrant and recovered close to $1.5 million worth of equipment.
And when did you get that tip?
Shortly before the search warrant was executed. So it was a very, very short time frame. It's a good example of the community engagement with the police and a direct result tied to it in a very short amount of time.
Message to the public, if you're in the market for a big piece of equipment like this, what should we be doing?
If you're in the market for it?
If I'm going to go meet a guy to buy a semi-auto.
For sure. We have CPIC, so an online query tool, CPIC, we call CPIC, that you can query the VIN numbers on there, and that's directly tied to police databases that show whether or not that equipment has been reported stolen or not. It's good to check it once and maybe a couple days later check it again, because if it's a freshly stolen item, it won't quite be on the system yet.
You mentioned like a term of investigation. This one was very relatively short. How important is it to, I guess how important in cases like this is it to reduce the amount of time you're pulling in loose threads or investigating?
Well, in this instance, the fact that the public came forward with a tip greatly reduces the time it takes to investigate a crime like this. This is a rural property that was not visible from any road. It was very difficult to see onto the property, so traditional investigative techniques were limited. The use of the drone was instrumental in confirming that property being on, the stolen property being on this particular property.